What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I hope you like this video. This is the Real Housewives of Potomac Season 7, Episode 11. So, we start this episode off, child. We have some good old-fashioned, vintage Real Housewives of Potomac scene between Karen and Gizelle. And it is so good to see them, shading each other, but having a fun conversation. Because they were both shading the hell out of each other in their confessionals. But they were having a fun conversation, right? Karen went over to Gizelle's house and she bought the twins their birthday gift. Remember last week they had their sweet 16 and Karen wasn't at the party, but she got them Gucci bracelets, honey. And I thought that was so cute, right? Um, but then we had a good old fashioned gossip session, okay? And like Karen said, Karen was like, Mia been running her mouth because she done told the wrong person all her business because Gizelle gonna tell it. But Gizelle told it. Now Gizelle told Kern that when they was down to the Miami, Mia made it seem like she takes care of Jacqueline and she done bought Jacqueline a Porsche. Now, she didn't come right out and say she bought Jacqueline a Porsche, but she did insinuate. And if I were listening to that conversation, that's the conclusion that I would have drawn. I'd have been like, oh, so she bought the girl a Porsche? Because she was like, I mean, if I'm winning, then she winning. Like when she pull up in her Porsche, right? And I was just like, so you saying that she winning because, like, she got a Porsche because of you? Like, that's how I took that. So then, Gizelle reminded Kern that they took a shower together down to the Miami. Every time I say that, I hear Teddy Pendergrass, let's take a shower, shower together. Anyway, moving on. And then the next line is, I wash your body while you wash mine. So every time I hear about people taking a shower together, I just hear those are the lyrics that I hear in my head. And like Karen said, Karen was like, girl, she wanted y'all to see her. She wanted y'all to see them because if she didn't, like, they wouldn't have been in front of the window. I mean, that's real simple. They wouldn't have been in front of the window. Now, with that being said, of course, Karen was like, girl, oh, wow, oh, my, woo. And then they talked about the fact about Jacqueline having sex with Mia's ex, and how Mia says she liked to watch, and how she likes to watch Gordon with other women. And so, ipso facto, Gizelle wants to know if one of them other women was Jacqueline. I don't think that's an unreasonable question. I mean, it's not your business, but let's be honest, most of us would be curious. I mean, Mia telling us her business. It'd be different if I was investigating or Gizelle was investigating. Now, normally, Gizelle, but this one fell in her lap. I mean, this fell right there in her lap, okay? So, of course, Karen was like, oh, my goodness, like, oh, my gosh, like, that's a whole lot of information. And let me go on and get in my Maserati and head on back down to the Potomac because I'm in Bethesda right now. And I got to get on back over to the Potomac, okay? Now, then we see Wendy going to the emergency room. Now, I'm going to go ahead and just knock Wendy on out the way for this episode. We really didn't see Wendy much more than this. Wendy went to the emergency room because her kidney stones were so big she could no longer pass them naturally, and she had to have surgery. Now, remember, Wendy kept saying that she had to have the surgery, but she kept putting it off, and her body finally was like, yeah, no. You're going to get this up out of me one way or another. It's getting up out of me one way or another. So she ended up actually having to have 2 surgeries. And then we saw her coming back home and her mom taking care of her. Listen, her mama was funny. Why her mama was trying to cook her a whole Nigerian meal with pepper and everything else. And I'm like, she just had not gallbladder, but kidney stones. I don't know if she's supposed to be eating all that stuff. She said, Mama, who is wanting, don't nobody want no pork chops. Can you just, no, don't make it the Nigerian way. Can you just make me some soup? Why her mama was like, don't nobody want no soup. Then she gonna tell Wendy what you want to drink. Wendy said water. She talking about something that's boring. You need to get you some wine. Wendy was like, Ma, I cannot. No, I'm not drinking wine. She said, I'm the nurse. I know. Child, Wendy mama was cracking me up. But they ended up having a conversation. Wendy's mom just got out of the hospital. Wendy said the doctors told her that she was there because she was for exhaustion. They told her to take a chill pill and she'd be all right. I don't feel like that's what your doctor said, Miss Wendy Mama. I do not feel like that is what the doctors told you, is to take a chill pill and you be all right. I feel like they said a little bit more. I feel like they was a little bit more specific than that. But anyway, but that was a cute scene. Her daughter came over to feed her the soup, and it was really cool. And her, Eddie was there with her the whole time. Eddie said, "You scared the hell out of me. Like, you a better one than me, because I'd have been like, take my whole kidney out. Like, I could tell how, like, I was, listen, it was a great moment, cool." So then we see Ashley at her apartment with the kids and the nanny slash friend slash whoever this woman is. Um, she said that Michael told her about a new house that's on the market. It's really nice. It's in a nice neighborhood. It's a 5-bedroom with a big yard. And how she's just letting Michael handle it because she doesn't know. She's never done this before. She's a first-time home buyer. And her and Michael's finances are just so intertwined. She said, I don't know if I'm doing this right. I've never done this before. Well, let me tell you, Ashley, I've never been divorced before either, but you're doing it wrong. And everybody has told you that you're doing it wrong, including the lawyer that you went to go see told you you're doing this wrong. So I'm just not sure what else you want to hear and who you want to hear it from. Uncle Lump Lump done told you you're doing it wrong. All of the cast, everybody on the show done told you you're doing it wrong, and all them women have been through divorces. Except for Candiace. I don't think Candiace told you nothing. Candiace told you the shit don't make no sense, and we know Candiace told you don't make no sense. But all of them done told you you are doing it wrong. I don't know what message you need to see, what you need to come fall off the sky. Anyway, moving on. And I think Ashley done bought a house because her TikToks are in a different place. They not in that penthouse no more. At least it looks like it. But moving on, not my business. So then we see the ladies visiting the venue where they're having a Reasonably Shady. I know that venue. I know exactly where they were. I believe that was in Silver Spring, Maryland. I'm almost certain that was in Silver Spring, Maryland. I told y'all I was gonna buy tickets to that event, but the tickets was too expensive. That was more than what I expected them to be. Now they weren't they weren't like $200-300. They were just more than what I expected them to be. I thought they was gonna be like $15-20, and I feel like they were like $60, $50-60. And I just wasn't gonna spend $50-60 for Reasonably Shady. But it looked like some people did. Now, the venue holds 400 people, and Robin is worried about filling it up. She said that is a lie. And she said that her and Gizelle put their own money up. She said they put up about $10,000 each. And so, she worried about selling them tickets so they can recoup their funds. Then we found out that Dana made Juan a part of the show that he agreed to do, even though he asked Robin to remind him when the show was, because I guess he had to remember when he was supposed to do the show. Child. Anyway, moving on. Candiace is doing her video with Trina. That's about it. I mean, we see her doing crunches to make sure that, the abs pop. Her mama there. She said that, she wants her mother to be there for these milestones, but she has told her mama to sit down and just observe for future reference. We don't need no more commentary during my videos. We also see that the production has been amped up from her drive back video shoot in the parking lot of the Family Dollar down to Georgia Avenue. Okay, now, so that was all we saw with Miss Candiace, because Candiace don't go to the Reasonably Shady recording for obvious reasons. Okay. We see Robin talking to Juan. Listen, I don't care about none of this conversation, because the first half of the conversation, they talk about this wedding that nobody's invited to, including them. Then the second half of this conversation, they talking about the prenup that nobody cares about, including Juan. So, child, whatever. I don't care about none of this. I feel like I've already talked about the prenup. And I feel like we're all on the same page as far as this wedding is concerned. So, I don't care about none of this. Now, Karen being her nosy self, she had to drive back over to Mia's house and find out what the tea was, fact from fiction, and get a little bit more tea herself. So, she rolled on over to Mia's house And she let Mia know what Gizelle had said to her. Well, Mia, she was like, yep, I said it, and let me add a little more sauce onto it. So now, on top of Jacqueline, um, that your husband be in threesomes and you done watched him in threesomes, you done watched Jacqueline had sex with your ex-boyfriend back in the day. Now you said that you and Jacqueline have done some intimate things together. And Karen was like, oh, so y'all were a couple? Y'all were, she said no. She said, well, what you mean by intimate? Like, if you was intimate, y'all was having sex, right? Like, she said, no, we just did some things. Karen was like, okay, what you mean? Like, did y'all kiss? Mia had to think about that. Girl, how you had to think about the fact whether you kissed or not? Then she said, well, did y'all fondle? She was like, yeah, we fondled. She was like, well, I thought I wanted to be a gynecologist at one point. And so, I was examining, her coochie. And then she said that she had a flashlight and everything up there. Man, why you always gotta lie? Damn, you can't tell the truth. She said, well, how old were you? She talking about something, I was 18 or 19. Man, you know damn well at 18 years old, you did not think you was gonna be nobody's gynecologist because you was already swinging around that pole down to the script club in Charlotte. Stop acting like that. Girl, you knew you wasn't gonna be nobody's damn gynecologist at 19 years old. You was up in the girl coochie because you wanted to be up in the girl coochie. Just lie. You just lie. Anyway, then she let them know. She let Karen know that that she likes to watch G, but that they've also had threesomes. And Karen was like, well, were they with Jacqueline? She was like, no, she said with Peter. She said no, Peter's girlfriend. And Karen was like, you know what? Now it all makes sense now. It all makes sense now because now that adds a little bit to it, because she said I felt like what was going on at that table was a little more personal. So then of course they flash back to Wendy making the comments about, I don't know what you and your husband do in y'all marriage, yada yada yada. Karen was like, oh well, it all makes sense now. She said, Wendy hit a nerve. And it also brings validity to what Wendy said when she said that Peter was like, he used to be really cool with me and them, but then they did some shicey stuff as it relates to his ex-girlfriend. But I feel like we already said this. I feel like I said this in my review, or I said it on the Whether You Like It or Not panel. But yeah, that's where all of that's coming from. Now, the other part of that is she said that she was their girlfriend before she was Peter's girlfriend. I said, y'all just messy. Messy, okay? And Karen said, on that note, let me get up out of here, because that is y'all gave me way too much information to process, okay? Let me get up out of here, all right? So then we get to the Reasonably Shady live show. It wasn't full, but I ain't even gonna shade them about that, because it's hard sometimes to sell tickets to stuff like that, especially when you charging $60. They had merch, Juan showed up with the boys. Kern was there. Mia and Jacqueline were there. Sharice, everybody was there except for Candiace, child. Candiace ain't come. And Candiace said that they were not worthy of her attending. I ain't mad at you. Now, Karen was there ready to be shady. She done took video footage of the fact that the theater was empty. She had a list of things not to do. Now, first of all, their host was Joe Claire. Now, Joe Claire is a DC legend. He is a comedian, and he is definitely a DC legend. But he forgot that name. Listen. I mean, he called her Robin Bryant. He said, listen, I dated somebody named Robin Bryant, okay? So they came out, and Robin mic wasn't working. So he go shady ass Karen talking about some things not to do at my show. First, make sure that the host's not drunk and he know my name. Second of all, make sure that the mic works. So then they did their little segment. They brought Juan up. It was cute or whatever. Then they did a dance break, and they had Ashley come up and do the dances a la her TikTok viral. Well, I don't know if she's been viral, but her TikTok dances. I feel like it was probably fun in the moment. I do. I feel like it was probably fun in the moment. What'd they do after that? Then they opened up a question and answer, a Q&A, and the Q&A, somebody, of course, asked when the wedding was, child. Robin says, stay tuned. Well, we still tuned in. Well, we not. But anyway. So then after the show, Kern left. I like that bag that Kern had on. That Chanel bag, that color was beautiful. That color was beautiful. I like it. I mean, Kern, if you see this review and you're not using it no more and you want to give it away, I'll take it. I'm just saying. So Gizelle, being her shady self, she gonna roll up over to Jacqueline, and she gonna ask Jacqueline all these questions about her and Mia, right? So she gonna ask, well, did you ever have a threesome with Mia and G? Jacqueline gonna say, well, you have to ask Mia that. Why I need to ask Mia? Did you do it or not? Why do I need to ask Mia? Did you do it or not? I'm not understanding why I need to ask Mia. Did you do it or not? Then Mia over there talking to Robin. So they all end up coming. So they brought up the Porsche thing too. And Jacqueline was like, no, I bought my own Porsche. Like, I bought my own car. Like, no, she didn't buy my car. And she was like, I don't remember her saying that. Sharice was like, I remember. She said it. So then they gonna bring Mia over there. And Mia, still trying to play like she balling like that. She gonna say, well, yeah, her car is in her name. Girl, and I didn't hear Jacqueline correct her. Because what you should have said, Jacqueline, was, it's more than in my name. I paid for it. The car note in my name, too. The fuck? What you mean? Oh, it's in her name. That doesn't clear that up. So then she gonna say, oh, so they brought up the whole threesome thing and all that other stuff. She gonna talk about some, oh, Karen talk too much. Girl, you talk too much. You gave them all them breadcrumbs. I mean, Karen might have gave them a little something too. But girl, you put your business out there. You cannot possibly have an issue with anything Karen has said. Girl, you put your business out there. I just cannot. So basically what they successfully did was make everybody think that, one, they've been intimate, two, they've been intimate with a third party in the room, and three, that third party may or may not have been G at some point in time. And at the end of the day, I don't really care. It ain't really none of our business. But girl, anyway, that was it. Y'all let me know what y'all think. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.